Okay, let's do a quick review of what we talked about class today. So when we do go ahead and share the screen, we'll take a look at the notes that were up on the board. So share. Okay. If we take a look today, we're getting started on chapter 2. There's 2 sections to chapter 2, but we're going to do it over a few days. The first couple days are going to be on section 2.1, describing a location and a distribution. Then we'll get on to the normal distribution. So today we talked about percentiles. Again, the definition of what a percentile is. It's the percentage where you are in a distribution reading from left to right. So that value or less than, or equal to. So if you want to kind of look at a visual, that's a visual. So if you think about it, if you're in the 75th percentile and that's your score right here at the bottom, what that means is you scored at a level the same as or higher than 75% of the people. So that's what percentile is. It's looking down. So this is kind of called a lower percentile, but it's referred to as percentile. If you ever see the phrase upper means you're looking how many were above you. So if you're in the lower 70th percentile, you're actually in the upper 25th percentile. It's just another way to look at it. There's some practice that I can show you if you need to, but that's the definition of percentile. That was the first piece we talked about today. The next thing is a little bit of a review, relative frequency. You're taking your count and you're dividing by the total, so it's a percentage. So like if we had 20 items and one of them fit a category, 1 out of 25%. Cumulative frequency is where you add up those totals moving forward. I'll show you an example in a moment. And then cumulative relative frequency is going to be adding up the percentages. And again, we'll go through that. The reason we do that really is we do that to create this thing. It's called a cumulative relative frequency curve, or an ogive curve. So reading this right here, it's telling me that 20% of the people are at 12 years old. We're going up to here 14. If I drag over here, say about 50%, that's saying 50% of the people are 14 or younger. 50% of the people are 14 or younger. And if I wanted to figure out how many were 14, I would do 50 minus 20, and it would say that roughly 30% would be 14 years old. And as you notice, all this ends at 100%. That's another set of notes. Here's what we talked about today. Again, using an ogive curve, you're either going to be asked to look at the vertical up and down, find the horizontal, or you're going to be given the horizontal and asked to find the vertical. And again, I'll show you an example in a moment. Just as a kind of a piece of information, quartile 1 is the 25th percentile, the median is the 50th percentile, quartile 3 is the 75th percentile. So hopefully that helps a little bit. I know I'm going a little fast, but I really wanted to show an example. So here's a really good way of an example right here. This is a cumulative relative frequency of the cost of in-state public college education for each of the 50 states. So reading this curve, what it tells me is that 0% of the states have $0 tuition, which kind of makes sense. What this is saying is if you drag it over here to the side, kind of come over, that's at about 25. That's saying about 25% of the states have an in-state college tuition of $6,000 or less. We don't know exactly how much, but we know 25% have $6,000 or less. If we wanted to look for the median would be right about here, 50%. We drag it down to the bottom, and we would say that the median is somewhere between $6,000 and $8,000, so maybe about $7,000. And then the maximum value, the highest one is, it looks like the highest in-state tuition is about $16,000. So that is kind of what an ogive curve is and how we read it. This practice is available, so I didn't really do the questions itself. I want you to practice them if you haven't already, and please feel free to ask me questions if you have any. Hopefully that kind of answers your questions. Please use the reflection to give me some feedback if I need to cover anything. That's what it's there for, and have a nice day.